Hi, I'm Bella, and I am a teen girl, and I have optic nerve hypoplasia. I've had it ever since I was little. It's been a journey, to be honest. It's been a journey for me, to be honest, because I've had to deal with bullies, people questioning me. I've had to deal with IUPs. I've had to deal with people treating me differently because of it. I've had to deal with a lot, But this documentary, I feel like I had to make it for you guys. And I hope that this brings awareness to my condition, and it proves that I'm just like you. I could just, be normal, I'm normal. So, yeah, here we go. When I was a baby, I was diagnosed with optic nerve hypoplasia. I'm just going to say the condition because I'm not going to keep saying it. But I was diagnosed. The doctors thought I wouldn't be able to eat, talk, walk. They thought I'd just be hooked up to a machine. But I was blind when I was a baby. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't eat anything. It was really hard for my family. I feel like it took like a toll on my family because I bet they felt like guilty, like something was wrong with them. My mom, I know she probably took it hard too because seeing your first child like that, with an eye condition, thinking she's never gonna have a future, like that was kind of really hard for her. It probably was a lot for my family. But I had MRI done, and I wasn't autistic. I just had this condition, and part of my condition is like misdiagnosed, the squinting, not having good vision, low cortisol, low growth hormone, being sensitive to heat, but yeah, my baby years were pretty hard, but it wasn't really hard for me because I don't even remember. It was mainly hard for my family, thinking that I'd never have a future, Their first daughter is helpless and hopeless. But they had churches all across Alabama pray for me and my grandma. And eventually, I remember I saw like this star up in the sky, and I was like pointing to it and stuff. And it was almost like a miracle. It was a miracle because Jesus healed me, And I started to gain sight, I started to gain vision, and now I could see pretty well. I started developing vision, and it just keeps getting better every single day, And yeah, I just started getting my vision, and it was like almost like a miracle. It was just so amazing that I finally got vision, and feeding me was really hard. I remember my mom saying I'd always just puke it up because I couldn't really see the textures. I didn't like different textures. My condition, it made it hard for me to eat new foods when I was little because, when you're blind and you don't have any sight, it's kind of hard to like trust what you're eating because you don't know what it looks like. Yeah, I would always just puke up the food. I couldn't really eat. It was like a nightmare getting me to eat, but my parents knew I couldn't help it, so yeah. Yeah, that was my baby years. But it's just like a miracle how God really, really blessed us with me, because I feel like the reason that this happened to me was because so God could show his living testimony of me. I'm his living testimony. I'm his living miracle. So I'm a miracle. So yeah. My toddler years were honestly like really good, to be honest, because I had no idea that there was really anything like really wrong with me, to be honest. I wasn't wearing glasses or anything. I had no idea, like I knew nothing, and that was probably for the best, to be honest, because I feel like I wouldn't understand if I was a toddler and they told me, oh, you have this like eye condition, like yeah. I feel like I really wouldn't understand, to be honest, but my life really like started like being different around kindergarten, but to be honest, my toddler years, I don't really remember them, to be honest. But I do remember a few things. Like, my toddler years were good from what I remember. We'd always go to Disney. But yeah, not really much to cover on my toddler years. But like, I was never abused. Like, my life was like really good for me, to be honest. The only thing I kind of remember is, the only thing that relates to my condition is like, I remember this one time in particular. I went to the doctors and they gave me this shot, and like I started taking the shot every night, and I didn't really understand why. But yeah, it was a growth hormone shot because I run low on growth hormone. So without it, I probably would have been less tall, less like, mature, because of hormones, But yeah, that was my toddler years. To be honest, my childhood years were pretty interesting. So it wasn't necessarily like people being rude to me. I've had a couple times really people were rude to me, but I just felt like different. I felt like an outcast, I felt like everyone treated me different, like I was stupid because of it. I always used to hate when people used to be like, "Oh, Bella, do you need help?" Like, I know I had like good intentions or whatever. Like, I hated being different. I hated being like singled out like that, I hated it so much. But I wasn't mature at the time, and I didn't know that like their intentions were good and they just wanted the best for me and they just wanted to help me really. But my child years were really hard for me, to be honest. I mean, I had friends and stuff, but it was really hard for me to make new friends because I was so scared of seeming like I was different. I was scared. I was like really terrified of making eye contact with people, so I just look away. I still subconsciously kind of do that around new people, but God's really helped me with that. But yeah, like my fears were like being made fun of, like people noticing something is different about me, I didn't want to be like the different girl. I wanted to be me. I wanted to be Bella. I didn't want to be known as the girl with the eye condition. That's not what I wanted, but it seemed like when I was little, I couldn't really escape that, to be honest. I just felt like my identity was this whole eye condition, and it was like honestly really hard for me. I felt almost like worthless, like I didn't need anything. The only thing that mattered was my eyes, but really, these are just temporary bodies, and we have a soul, and that's all that matters. And Jesus is gonna take us up, when the rapture happens. But yeah, I was really insecure. It was really hard, to be honest. Yeah, it was just really hard for me to make new friends. People would just look at me weird and stuff. It was really hard for me. Sixth grade was really hard for me. Like, really hard for me. It didn't help that my teacher was like pure evil. Her name was Miss Morris, and she literally was the worst teacher ever. She was the reason for a lot of my insecurities. She would yell at me. She would single me out in front of the class. She would embarrass me. She would act like I was stupid and I didn't know anything. She was pure evil. She made me feel like I was worthless. She was the worst teacher I think I've ever had. She was pure evil. I don't know if I still have notes, but it was terrible. She makes fun of people with disabilities. She targets men, she targets women, she targets anyone basically. And she thought I didn't know better, but I knew. She was terrible to me. She was so bad. I had to switch schools. I had to go to a different school. And then there, I went through a lot too. It wasn't necessarily the teachers, it was just like the kids there and stuff, because they really were like, the school is demonic. They pushed like a bunch of like woke stuff, and it really influenced me, to be honest, because I turned out to be gay and now I'm a Christian. So my life was really, really hard. And 6th grade, and I was depressed too. I was very depressed. I wasn't me, to be honest. I wasn't me at all. No. My teacher, she really affected me really bad. She was evil. She wouldn't enlarge my stuff. She would yell at me and scream at me. One time I remember she made me stay after class for like 15 minutes, and she was just yelling at me and like throwing things under my desk and yelling at me about how I wasn't organized or something. She was just screaming at me, and she made me feel so intimidated. It was almost like traumatizing. I was traumatized because she treated me so terribly. But I forgive her, but because I'm a Christian and Christians are supposed to forgive. But I just want to speak up about this topic because I know more people are struggling with evil teachers like this. And from what I've heard, she's gotten worse. But yeah, 6th grade was really hard for me, to be honest. She would hit kids with pieces of paper. It's not even funny. She was just pure evil. But yeah. 7th grade was not nearly as bad as 6th grade, but I do remember this one girl. She's gonna be in my 8th grade segment too. I'm just gonna call her Computer. When I first met her, we were at PE, and like I had the gift of discernment, and I could tell between good and bad spirits. And when I saw her walking up to me, I knew. She had this mask on. It was scary, and I just got this horrible gut-wrenching feeling in my stomach. It was just like darkness. Like I was intimidated. And she walked up to me and she was like, "Are you in the sun?" And I was like, "Huh?" And I knew what she was gonna say. She's gonna make fun of me for my eyes, because that's all people ever saw. And then she would gang up on me with her, at the time, friend, but I think she lost her too, because she just doesn't know how to treat anyone right. I'm gonna call her friend Computer and Keyboard. So they would just gang up on me. They would be like, "Why the F did you just wink at me? Why do your eyes move like that? What the F is wrong with you?" They would call me autistic, the R word. They would call me so mean things. And they would, like, the girl Computer, she would, like, just constantly, like, almost like she would, like, want to sit next to me just to bully me and make me insecure. That's all she ever wanted to do. And she threatened my friend, like my best friend at the time, but we're still friends and not as close. She said, "Oh, I'm gonna find someone to beat you up." She's just like a terrible person. She's one of my ex-friends, and I'm still struggling from what happened because, yeah. 7th grade, it was better than this year. Way better than this year, to be honest. But Computer, oh my gosh. It's like it never stops with her, because like she just keeps going and going and running her mouth. It's really hard, to be honest. I've been through a lot with people, because people can be so mean. She was so mean to me. She would threaten me. She said, "Oh, do you know how to fight?" I'm like, "No, why?" She said, "We'll meet me after school." I'm like, what did I do to you? But that was her in 7th grade. Yeah, it was pretty hard. I was pretty insecure, but at the time I was getting actually better at talking to people, because I was making new friends. I kind of started getting over my fear of talking to new people. Yeah, I started improving in that, and I made a bunch of new friends, and yeah, but that one girl, yeah, that was hard for me, to be honest, because I came home crying from what she said, because I felt so insecure, and like I didn't like it. Of course someone would like that. They're talking bad about that to you, but yeah, that was really all that really happened in 7th grade. I'm starting to think 8th grade was like one of the like hardest years besides 6th grade. I'm in 8th 8th grade right now, and this year has not been fun. It's been hard. I'll say that. So what happened was, computer, we had PE class and math class together. I thought she changed. She acted different. She apologized for the way she treated me back then, but it was all fake. All fake. We stopped being friends for no reason. She just left me, and I was so confused of why. I was hurt. I felt betrayed, but I wanted to respect her and give her space, because that's obviously what she said she wanted to respect her wishes. And then all of a sudden she starts hating me for no reason, starts threatening me, trolling me and my friends, body shaming us, disability shaming us, said I look autistic and that I need to fix my eyes, said some really horrible things about me, terrible things about me. Yeah, she literally is so possessed. I'm not even lying. Whenever I see her, I just get dark vibes from her, like her spirit is so demonic. I can feel it, and it's hard. This year I've been mocked, I've been bullied, I've been called horrible, horrendous names, like terrible names. People call me a deformed dragon because of my condition. People said I'm a cross-eyed minion. People say I look autistic and that I need to fix my eyes. It's just like, it never ends. But people are so evil and they have no heart these days, and they aren't Christians. They wouldn't understand the love of Jesus, and of course I forgive these people. But I'm saying people are so unaware of how people can make us feel, because we're really outsiders to them. We don't fit in. We're not like the other people, you know? Just because I have some eye condition doesn't make me stupid or not good enough, because I know dang well I am good enough for them. And at least Jesus loves me, and that's all that matters at this point. That's all that matters to me. But I mean, it's not like I'm some unhappy person. Like, my life is really good, to be honest. I think I have it better than most people with my condition, to be honest. I have a pretty normal life. I have amazing friends that love me for who I am, and they accept me. They don't care about my eye condition. They actually see me for me more than the girl with an eye condition, and I feel like that's what I've always wanted and needed, and I just thank God that I finally have that. But my life has been hard in a sense that I'm not like other people, and I can't do some things that other normal people without my condition or good eyesight can do. I'm not going to be able to drive. I'm not going to be able to find the world the way that other people do, and I'm not going to be like the other people. I'm just going to have to make it work and get through it, you know? And yeah, but it's hard, to be honest. Feeling like I can't do anything myself, but I've always been such an independent person. I feel like that I'm capable, of course, but then I have to realize that I do have limitations. I'm not a superhero, and I have to accept that I have this condition, and we have to work around it to find the solutions to help me live a daily normal life that I possibly can. I feel like me and Jesus have been on this journey and road of accepting myself for my eyes, and Jesus thinks they're beautiful just the way they are. And I'm thankful that I could even see, to be honest. But whenever I start to let the people get to me, I focus back on my mission, on my assignment that Jesus has called me to do. And I know who I am in Christ, and I know that I'm I know that I can't let these people get to me, because the only one that I care about that thinks about me is Jesus. I only care what Jesus thinks, and Jesus thinks that I'm beautiful and that I'm great just the way I am with my eyes. He doesn't think bad of me because of that. He loves me no matter what, and he even he hates it when people are mean to me, he's always there for me, and he loves the people that do this too. He forgives them, and I forgive them too, because they're not aware, they're not educated, they just think it's funny, but they don't know me, and they don't know who I am. But Jesus has really helped me with my insecurities back before I knew Jesus, really back before I started getting close to him. I would always come home crying because of something someone said. It used to be really bad, to be honest. I used to hate myself. I used to feel like I wasn't worth anything, and like people only saw me for my eye condition, but I know that's not the truth anymore. That's what the devil used to throw at me, but Jesus really helps me with that. He really helps me, and I just want to be an influence to people in the world who are going through insecurities, and maybe anything that you're insecure about. But I just want to tell you today that Jesus loves you just the way you are, because he died for you, and he loves you so much. He has a plan